Now my first audio recording of this game got corrupted. So you guys are lucky that you don't have to listen to the amount of language and shit talk that I gave to this team. Because I'm actually a little bit more calmer now that I got that out. Because I literally just recorded that video. Or not recorded the audio. And then I heard that it was bad. So, kudos to me for not checking it. But I'm recording this video. I started talking originally with 13 minutes left, right after that the 7-0 goal. And now they just score a goal in the power play. The Jets, Matthew Pearl gets one to make it 7-1. But not like that's a positive or anything like that, because who the fuck cares at this point? But I don't want to make this a video where I just talk about Nathan Beaulieu being absolutely trash for 10 minutes. But I would if it wasn't up to you guys having to listen to that, because you guys want to hear a lot of other thoughts too. So I'm just going to get this out of the way right now and talk about it right now, because Nathan Beaulieu is without a doubt one of the worst NHL defenders in the league. Without a doubt. This man should not be on a roster. I've been saying this all year long, really, that he has been absolutely trash for this organization. And Paul Maurice continues to use him like a top pairing defenseman. Maybe he puts him in that third pairing, but that doesn't take away the fact that Nathan Beaulieu has played respectively 24 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game, 21 minutes a game, 19 minutes a game, as a top 4 minutes for a guy that frankly shouldn't even be in the NHL. But that's okay, right? Because Paul Maurice is a great coach, and we don't question Paul Maurice if we're Jets fans, right? And if we do, we're just idiot armchair GMs who know nothing about what we're talking about, who are just salty fans that we don't get to see our favorite prospects play. Because that's what I am, right? That's what I've been called. That's what my fellow type of Paul Maurice criticizers have been called. Real fans of this club that want change have been called for years now. But, let's keep going with this after this game. 7-1, Does that not prove a point yet that maybe there's a problem with the coaching, with the personnel we have on the ice? If that doesn't change your opinion on the coaching, then I don't know what ever will. And you will never be a proper fan of this club. And you will just bathe in the mediocrity of this club for your lifetime, basically. Because that's how long it feels like Paul Maurice is going to be here, until the day he decides to retire, because he's 1 foot closer to being in the grave. Because I don't see management ever changing anything to do with this club. Ever. Nathan Beaulieu is a -4 tonight. He has played 14 minutes of ice time. So in 14 minutes, he's been on for 4 goals. Props to him. That's great stats, right, guys? Dylan DeMello, -3. A horrible performance by him tonight. The entire defensive core in general was absolutely horrible tonight. Neil Pionk, not very good tonight. Very lazy on that back check on the 7-0 goal. Very, very lazy. Laurent Brossoit could have held that puck, but that doesn't matter, right? I don't know where to start with this game, because this is an accumulation of everything wrong with the defensive core. The structure of the team, the way that the personnel is used, everything. This is an accumulation of all of that. I've been preaching, and even in every win, I've been preaching in the Jets' landslide wins, that the defense is a problem. Because it is. If you don't see that in the wins, then you're not a real fan of this team. Because you don't care enough to notice the problems. There is nothing positive about the defensive core to say at all. You want to know why? Yeah, Neil Pionk has had a pretty good offensive year. Maybe he's been decent defensively. And maybe we've had a couple individual defensive performances that have been decent. Derek Forbett to start the year, for example. Josh Morrissey has been bad, mostly pretty bad for the whole season, but has gotten better in the last couple weeks, I've said. And, that's good. That's a good thing to say. I'm not going to shit on everyone so much, but there are way too many holes with this club to be competitive for a cup. I don't care what anyone says. The offense can score 10 goals a game. I have no faith in the defense. I don't care if it was a 10-1. I would still be on my edge every time the opposing team gets into our zone because of how bad the defense is. Our offense isn't a problem. It's not. Maybe the usage and the way the offense has been used has been problems and not properly utilized, but you can argue that with almost anything. This game is an accumulation of the way the defense has been structured since the Jets came back from Atlanta. And if you don't agree with that, well, Charles Eddy's been the defensive coach ever since then, so what's the problem there, right? This team is a joke. And the management that runs this team is a joke. Not in particular Cheveldayoff, because I still like Cheveldayoff. Yeah, I criticize some of his moves, but in my opinion, he's assembled one of the best draft and development top 6 cores the NHL has seen in a very, very long time. And just in general with some of the talent he's been able to steal in late rounds. He's done a very good job at drafting, and he's done some pretty good trades as well. That doesn't take away from the fact that I think he undervalued the way the defense looked this year, and did the year before that. Now, there are all these other situations you can get into, but what I'm trying to harken on is that, in my personal opinion, as a Jets fan, who's been a fan of this club since the first game against Montreal back in 2010, this team will never go anywhere with Paul Maurice. Ever. anywhere. We will not win. And the year we did go to the Western Conference Final, it was because we had an amazingly structured, well-built team with some amazing chemistry. And Paul Maurice really didn't have much to do with that. It was just the way the team went. And also because we finally put it all together and it clicked. But you want to know why I think that? Look at the team post that year, post that run. Our power play was trash with Laine. It took trading Patrick Laine to spice up the power play. That's what it took. The defense has been so undervalued and not used properly. It's a joke. I've been preaching all season long that I think Ville Heinola should be with the club. I've also been saying that I think that Logan Stanley should be continuously playing more than what we're seeing from Nathan Beaulieu. I don't think that Tucker Pullman should be playing after the mediocre play that he's provided. I think that when you have Logan Stanley, Dylan Samberg, Ville Heinola, all these young, hungry defensive prospects that are really, really good, and you refuse to play them, and then you get called if you criticize Maurice, you're an idiot. You don't understand what's going on. You're an armchair GM. You're rushing a prospect. They're going to fail if you rush them. It's not rushing a prospect when they're already better than the NHL capable talent or so-called capable talent that you have on your team. I don't think anyone can say that Ville Heinola isn't NHL ready yet, that if you've been watching the Moose. And also, if you're not a real fan of the Jets, then you wouldn't know that if you mean Ville Heinola is being actually very good on the Moose. Very, very good on the Moose. Hell, I would rather see Declan Chisholm as an AHL rookie playing with the Moose. Not to mention, Sami Niku had a really good 3-game stretch with the Jets. And then what happens? Pull him out of the lineup because we don't want to develop this kid. He's useless to us. He's just a bum that we pull out of the taxi squad, right? Instead of using maybe 26-year-old Tucker Pullman as the guy that you want as the slug coming into the lineup. This team is a joke, and it will never, ever, ever change with the way that the coaching is. Coaching will never change. Paul Maurice is such a stubborn old mule, old hag when it comes to the lineups. It's a joke, man. It's a complete joke. There's nothing positive to say about this game because it's an accumulation of everything wrong with this team in one game. And I'm really happy that this game happened. I actually really am. Because finally, maybe some of you ignorant Jets fans that really don't think Paul Maurice is the problem and the way the defensive is and that we really do have the best current roster out there, maybe you'll realize that leaving Connor Hellebuck out to dry and even Lauren Spoit out to dry every game that they play isn't a good strategy to be successful in any type of pro hockey or any type of sport. Can you imagine? Look, I'm going to use a football reference. What happened to Andrew Luck? A fantastic, amazing quarterback. What happens when you just leave him out to dry with no protection? The guy has to retire early in a very sad situation because his body failed him because of the amount of hits and how much he was tackled. That's what Connor Hellebuck has to go through almost every night, that type of physical exhaustion, because there's almost no one in front of him trying to do anything to stop the shots against the net. Almost nobody, and it's been that way for a long time now. This defense needs to change. 100% needs to change. Maybe not going out and making a bunch of trades all the way, but use the personnel you have. That's why it's so fucking frustrating. The Jets are not going to do anything to change this roster. If anything, maybe Sami Niku draws in, but I will bet almost any amount of money to any Jets fan, to any hockey fan, that Nathan Beaulieu will still be in this roster, still be on that lineup after this game for the Leafs game on Tuesday. I'll bet any amount of money. He will still be playing when the Leafs on the roster when they play the Leafs. And that's a joke, in my opinion. An absolute joke. And an absolute travesty to this organization that a coach will refuse to take out shit players after horrible games, after horrible runs, and not been very good at all. But that's not going to happen. It won't. And you know why? We've seen it. We see when the better defenseman, for example, Sami Niku, plays a 3-game run after coming in and playing good hockey, and then we see how that gets rewarded. We see how Christian Vesalainen, a young, hungry rookie, well, not hungry rookie, sophomore guy kind of thing, hasn't played a lot in the NHL, comes in and gets an assist. We see how he gets rewarded, pulled out and sent to the Moose. Now, thank God he's at least on the Moose now, and he's not sitting on a taxi squad. It's the same thing with everything, man. What's always been this problem with this club and with the coaching. Young players don't get rewarded, and the vets just have unlimited amount of mistakes to prove, and they never get pulled out of the lineup, ever. Ever. That is a joke. That is an absolute joke to this team, and it's sad to see, because you wonder why Laine wanted out. And I know people are going to get shitty on me, and they didn't dislike that video, just at that concept. But I don't give a shit anymore, because you really have to wonder, why did Laine want out? Why did so many people want out? Because there's nothing ever changes in the room. Paul Maurice doesn't change anything to do with the lineup, ever. Ever, man. Nick Petan should have been with this club, developing as a guy. What happens? We lose him, and now he's never having a proper opportunity with the league. The Jets weren't even that good when Nick Petan was a prospect in the system, and they still didn't play him properly. Oh, are the Jets going to score right here? No, they're not going to be able to make it 7-2, maybe more respectable. I wish that it was still 7-0. I can't believe they scored in that power play because I wanted it to be a shutout so badly because that would just add more sting to this shit game. There's nothing to talk about positive about this club when the defense is this bad. The offense can be great. We can have a Vezina-winning goaltender, but what's the point when you leave them out to dry every game? When you have an offense that can't score, and then they can't rely on their defense to help bail them out and try to spark the team because the defense is so bad that they rely on the offense to score more goals than they allow. There's nothing positive about this club. Nothing. When it comes to the way the defense is. Nothing. Then that's all to do with coaching. You could make the argument to say Cheveldayoff should have brought in more talent. With what cap space? He needed to bring in a guy to replace Brian Little. He needed to bring in a guy to spice up the top six. You know he had to do that with Paul Stastny. You know why that move was made. You had to. Can you imagine how bad the top six would be if we didn't have Paul Stastny? I know we have Pierre-Luc Dubois now, but think about the center depth we would have had if Laine was still there. It's not a good move at all when it comes to if making that defensive, choosing a defenseman like that over the center, because it's really important for the Jets' offense and success. You have good, capable, young, hungry defensive prospects in your organization, and the coach doesn't play them. The coach doesn't play young, hungry players. The coach doesn't make any type of changes when the club is playing bad, when the defense is incapable of playing any type of consistent NHL defense. There's nothing positive to say about this game. It's a joke. And I really hope that you guys can realize that Paul Maurice is a bad coach now, and that he underutilizes the players. He doesn't use the roster well. I really hope that you can see that now. That's all I can hope for at this point. I want to see every single Jets fan. I want to see every single one, Paul Maurice defender, hater, whatever. I want to see your real, unfiltered thoughts in the comment section, please. You can type out freaking 100 comments to keep the same thread going. I really don't care, because I'm sick of this, and I really need to see if there's a consistency within the fans at this point, because Paul Maurice is trash. I've been saying this all year long, and I've been saying it for a lot longer than just this season with the way that he uses this team and coaches this team and uses the players and the roster and the current structure and everything. I need to hear all of your thoughts right now on this, because I'm just going insane just thinking about how bad this team is and how potentially good it could be if we just had a coach that wanted to change up things when they were bad. But he won't. I will bet any amount of money to anybody that Nathan Beaulieu is going to play in the next game. He won't be pulled out for anybody. That's a joke in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below as always. If you're a fan of hockey, regardless of the team you root for, and if you're somehow still a fan of the Winnipeg Jets after this type of bullshit, go ahead, because the game just ended. Montreal has won 7-1. 7-1. Thank you, Brendan Gallagher, for helping my fantasy team tonight, because none of my Jets on my team showed up, so that's the only positive I can think about from this game. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below as always. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you guys listening to my rant, but I love this team more than I love a lot of things in life. I love hockey, and I love the Winnipeg Jets, and I bleed for this team. And to see it being run so shittily by such a coach that doesn't know what he's doing with the roster capable and how the team is run, it's a joke. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Peace, love, positivity as always. Go Jets, go. Hell, I don't care anymore. Just something needs to change.